For most of human history, warfare required terrible intimacy. Survival depended on the ability to stand close enough to smell an enemy's breath and drive a stone through flesh and bone. We eventually learned to put distance between ourselves and the dying. Soldiers packed black powder behind iron, allowing them to tear apart formations from across a field. By the 20th century, distance industrialized. Artillery batteries and rocket launchers leveled entire cities from miles away, turning the individual soldier into a small part of a massive mechanical engine. Eventually, the human participant was removed from the physical theater of war. An operator in an air-conditioned room on a different continent could now drop a Hellfire missile onto a thermal signature. Today, even the trigger pull is being outsourced. Machine vision and autonomous algorithms identify targets on barren terrain, selecting who dies without a human ever appearing in the frame. We expanded the physical distance of combat until it stretched to infinity. With the traditional battlefield gone, military planners turned toward the only terrain left to colonize, the human mind. Alexei Ivanov lives thousands of miles from any active war zone. He wakes up to the San Francisco skyline, drinks coffee, and runs financial models that move millions of dollars before lunch. To his colleagues, he is a successful American quantitative analyst. They see a man who thinks in logic and clean minimums. They do not see the child who was brought over from Chuvashia when the Soviet Union collapsed. Alexei hides a history of severe depression, a quiet weight that has followed him since early adulthood. He carries the unresolved tension of a life and a family left behind in Russia. Sitting alone one night, Alexei finds a song by an exiled Russian artist designated as a foreign agent. He casually forwards the link to an old friend in Moscow. In the modern era, a single encrypted text acts as a tripwire. With one tap of a screen, an American civilian stumbles directly into the crosshairs of a state-level intelligence operation. Deep inside a cold institutional office in Moscow, the automated surveillance network flags the communication. The system cross-references the sender. Alexei's file reveals his Chuvash heritage and his proximity to a senior CIA officer's son. A dormant file from 1991 is reopened. Unit 29155 activates the Quantum Echo Protocol. They map Alexei's biometrics in real time, waiting for his brainwaves to enter the specific frequency required to bypass his conscious defenses. This is the sixth domain. A state intelligence agency is weaponizing a citizen's lost childhood, turning his own memories against him while he sleeps. At 2:47 a.m., Alexei's biometrics shift. The pulse enters his neural pathways, forcing his brain into an engineered state of high receptivity REM sleep. He finds himself standing in a golden Chuvash wheat field at dusk. He is a child again, bare feet in warm soil, hearing a language he hasn't spoken in 30 years. A woman in a hand-stitched red and white sash beckons to him. The protocol uses this maternal image to bypass his logic, striking at his buried desire for belonging. Synthetic voices layer over the scene. They tell him his soul is Russian and that he was stolen when the country was weak. They demand he return to share the burden of the war. This weapon targets the unmet cravings for identity. It uses cultural memory to dismantle a target from the inside out. Alexei's eyes snap open. As an analyst trained to spot statistical anomalies, he recognizes that the dream he just left was too high fidelity, its emotional resonance too calculated to be organic. He stumbles to the bathroom to splash water on his face. As he looks up, his reflection visibly lags a fraction of a second behind his actual movement, a lingering glitch from the quantum pulse. He reaches into a drawer for a photograph of himself as a 4-year-old. He traces the physical texture of the hand-stitched sash on his tiny coat, forcing the concrete details of the past to overwrite the synthetic ones he just saw. Alexei looks at the photo, then at his own trembling hands. He realizes that the state has claimed his mind as their newest territory. He watches the sunrise over San Francisco, fully aware he is now an active participant in an invisible war. He begins to reframe the attack. His mother's decision to flee Russia wasn't a betrayal, It was a preemptive strike that prevented him from being used as a weapon by the state. He makes a conscious choice in the pre-dawn light. He will not allow a remote bureaucracy to rewrite his identity or claim his loyalty. Military engineering will continue to find ways to bypass physical walls, but the file on Alexei Ivanov remains an outlier, a single dandelion seed the state could not pull back to its own soil.